All right, I think we can go ahead and get started. So good morning, everyone. Welcome to the July E&T All-Staff Virtual Meeting. Just as a reminder, if you are not speaking, please mute your microphone so we don't have background noise. And the session is being recorded, so we can share this presentation with anyone who can't join us live today. So we'll send out a news bulletin with a link to the presentation and a recording of this meeting. So to start us off, I'm going to kick it over to our Executive Director, Renee Fortier. Oh, and just a reminder really quickly, sorry, if you want to submit a question for the Q&A session at the end, please use the Zoom chat feature and send your question into Steve Wang by 10:30 a.m. So you should see a chat feature in your menu bar. Send the question to just Steve Wang, not to everyone, and then he'll be able to funnel those questions to Renee at the end of the session. And as another reminder, these are some of the updates, websites that we have bookmarked for you guys. So the UCLA COVID website, the E&T Employee Resources website, and the E&T Operational Update site. Again, this presentation will get sent out in a news bulletin. So if you haven't already bookmarked these links, these are the top 3 things that you should have saved. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Renee.
So good morning, everyone, and welcome to the July Events and Transportation All-Staff Meeting. During today's meeting, we'll be giving organizational and operational updates and introducing you to the new E&T Intranet Site that will provide staff with timely department information and a much more appealing and user-friendly site to use than what we've been accustomed to. Before we begin, I'd like to address the current work from home directive and how it's impacting the organization. As you know, the Chancellor has extended the stay-at-home directive until January 2021. And from what we're hearing, that may be optimistic, meaning that many of us may be working from home for even longer. So that means with the exception of essential frontline employees, most of us will remain off campus for the foreseeable future. So with that, we are faced with the reality that campus operations are going to continue to be very heavily impacted. The campus population is going to remain very limited, and most classes are moving to remote learning with numerous non-essential events and transportation projects and programs placed on hold or discontinued until further notice. So as a result, our parking and event revenues have been severely impacted, and our need to provide some services has also been significantly impacted, as there are not the people around campus to transport. So we're faced with very difficult decisions in making cutbacks in both operational programs and corresponding staffing. Decisions such as these are never easy, and they place a substantial strain on all of us. But with the lack of revenue, we're now going to be faced with painful reality that we can no longer sustain business as usual, given where campus operations are and where they're projected to be. So, of course, the senior management team and I will continue to assess our financial and organizational situation, and we'll keep the lines of communication open throughout. The uncertainty is really difficult for everyone. I realize that, and I'm very grateful for your continued efforts as we move through these challenging times. Now I'd like to turn it back to Lauren Bergen.
Thanks, Renee. So today we are going to have a bunch of updates from our operational teams. And so we're going to have Jonah speak to us from Commuter and Parking Services, Devron from Finance Systems and Assets, Abdallah from Mobility Planning and Traffic Systems, Jeff from Fleet and Transit, and Chinza from the Events Office. So I will turn it over to Jonah now, who will give us an update on Commuter and Parking Services.
Thank you, Lauren, and good morning, everybody. UCLA Commuter and Parking Services continues on the path to simplify our business processes, decrease administrative burden, and improve the customer experience. Our employees continue to show excellent collaboration and innovative ideas as we come to grips with new work conditions and plan for the future of CMPS. I'm going to share with you some examples of the strides our department has made and continues to make, starting off with Vanpool. So UCLA has passed the torch to Commute with Enterprise, who will be providing Vanpool services to UCLA employees directly. Our team members have helped over 1,000 Vanpool participants as they meet with our partners at Enterprise, and approximately 133 meetings have been completed. 38 Vanpools have been returned, with 60 remaining. Our team is working closely with Fleet and Transit to retrieve all Vanpool vehicles not returned by July 31st, this Friday, from various locations around Southern California, and to determine repurposing and redeployment of those vehicles. The medical operations team continues modified business practices, acting as parking ambassadors and assisting customers with self-service parking at UCLA Westwood medical areas. Our customer relationship management team, which includes brewing commuter programs, special events, and elements of medical and field operations, are operating over phone, email, and live chat. And with these contactless customer service solutions, we've assisted approximately 4,000 customers over the phone and nearly 9,700 over live chat and email. Space management efforts continue, and our team moves forward to problem solve as we face a few challenges. For example, the ongoing suspension of stack parking operations in Structure 1, structural challenges in Structure 18, and construction in Law 11, which have all caused impacts to space availability in this time. We're pressing forward with unit-wide project work and to standardize and improve business processes, including some improvements that would make working from home a little easier. And finally, we are fine-tuning the insourcing of vendor services at the campus assets parking properties in Westwood, lots 35, 37, 38, and 39. Commuter and Parking Services is also working closely with other E&T units to strategize even more collaborative approaches to defining process, analyzing data, and providing the best customer experience to our one customer, people accessing and moving through UCLA. We continue to ensure the safety and well-being of our employees who are not currently working from home, as we maintain our adherence to CDC guidelines and California law, and incorporate the following to ensure our team is well protected. We maintain the self-monitoring procedure, which for all on-site employees, which includes a temperature screening and completion of a survey provided by UCLA health experts that each employee must complete before coming into work. We're continuing our sanitation and disinfection efforts at all work locations and all parking locations, and provision of PPE. We are maintaining our defined university vehicle use safety protocol and A and B teams to minimize the impact of potential close contact. Having been granted some extra time to prepare for when we receive the green light to return to the office, we're taking the opportunity to work on cubicle movement and installation of safety measures such as protective plexiglass in work locations not currently suited for physical distancing, and placing physical distancing indicators in not only office locations, but also at all pay stations, walkways, and bus stops around campus. So that wraps it up for Commuter and Parking Services. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Jonah. All right, so I'm going to kick it over to Devron now, who's going to give us an update on finance systems and assets.
Thank you, Lauren. Good morning, everyone. Here are the updates for finance system and assets. The parking enforcement team has internal recruits that are being trained to become parking enforcement officers. This will allow us to increase our coverage on campus and be able to have better enforcement throughout. Moving on to our facilities management team, We are still doing office safety protocols. We have been working to reduce the occupancy limits in our meeting areas. This includes the break rooms where we have removed chairs and tables. We are reducing the chairs also in the conference rooms and posting maximum occupancy levels. We're also working with our facility partners to install new sensors in our restrooms for faucets, paper towels, dispensers, and other items that we touch. We're also working with other events and transportation teams to identify practical one-way pathways for our hallways. Here are some other updates for our tenant improvement projects. As you know, we've been working on the lobby renovation. We're starting the last phase of this. This renovation or this project has allowed us to move the citation review adjudication team over into Suite 101. And so we'll be wrapping that up very shortly. By the citation review office moving over to Suite 101, this has freed up 106, and this is going to allow us to bring over the events team from Kirkhoff. And so we'll be doing some minor renovations in 102, 106. And we hope to have the team from the events office in their new area by fall quarter. Finally, the parking assets team, which is comprised of the enforcement team, the operation team that handles the parking equipment, and the facility management team will be moving into the parking operations, or better known as field operations area. The field operations team, which consists of the medical area, that team now works directly down at the Valley office at the Ronald Reagan Medical Center. And the remaining parking operations team has been fully integrated into the Brewing Computer Program team. And that's all the updates for finance system and assets. I'll kick it back over to Lauren.
Thanks, Devron. All right, next up we have Abdallah Debussy from Mobility Planning and Traffic Systems.
Thanks, Lauren. About to go into some of the initiatives that Mobility Planning and Traffic Systems has been working on. First, so an effort has been underway to ensure that all qualifying 13,000 plus grad students have fare-free access to transit lines serving UCLA by the fall quarter, including the commuter lines. This effort has witnessed significant collaboration between various entities both inside and outside transportation, including integrated marketing and communications, the central ticket office, Fleet in Transit, and Mobility Planning and Traffic Systems, with Roy Marubayashi as the project manager. Excuse me. The cost for this program will mostly be paid for with graduate student fees. In an effort to better serve the graduate students with their new transit benefit, we are working on route changes with Big Blue Bus on their line 17, which is featured on the slide in front of you. Next slide, please. Starting in late September, the Big Blue Bus 17 will reroute to connect the Weyburn Terrace graduate student residence to campus and the Medical Plaza areas, as well as run through and stop throughout Westwood Plaza and Charles Young Drive, going both directions, and terminating at McGowan to also function as an intra-campus transit option for the university community. And in the next initiative, traffic signal changes on recall mode, due to the interest of safety and hygiene, a few walk signal push buttons on campus have been recalled so that a walk signal is automatically activated without the need for contact, while others are currently pending this modification as well, as the slide in front of you illustrates. Now on to traffic curb extensions. And in another safety improvement, we are working on curb extensions or curb bulb outs, which allow more space for people to stand when waiting to cross the street, and also work to slow traffic down by narrowing the road. As you can see on the slide, we have a few of these being constructed on Westwood Plaza, and we expect them to be around by this fall. On the right is a picture of an existing curb extension in the city, as an example of what ours will look similar to. Our next initiative is a collaboration with the Healthy Campus Initiative as a part of an effort to transform or reclaim underutilized campus spaces. During the past academic year, a contest was held with UCLA employees and students who submitted artwork related to the theme of climate change and public health that could go on campus traffic signal cabinets. Winners were selected in the spring, and we are currently working on getting the artwork up on 14 campus locations by September. And finally, for the last initiative, which was a long-awaited project, Westwood was resurfaced from Charles E. Young Drive up to Strathmore Drive, adding a bike lane next to the Culver City bus stop. Let's take a look at this brief video of the work.
All right, thanks, Abdallah. So next up, we have Jeff Olschwing, who's now with our Fleet and Transit unit.
Good morning, E&T. I hope you're all healthy and safe. Fleet and Transit continues to run many of our operations with normal schedules, including the campus fueling station, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, light duty and heavy duty vehicle maintenance, Bruin Car and Bruin Access running via the on-demand app, Monday through Friday, 7:30 to 6. Bruin Bus continues to run reduced summer service, Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Passengers are required to wear a face covering to ride a Bruin bus. Buses will not carry more than 50% capacity, and boarding is from the rear doors only as added safety precautions. Temporarily, UCLA Safe Ride is suspended through the summer, but will resume service in the fall as normal. We have many fleet projects underway. Our F&T parts department is currently supplying COVID-related PPE to all E&T on-site essential employees as needed. This includes disinfectant spray bottles, sanitizers, face coverings, gloves, etc. Fleet maintenance is supplying all university vehicles with disinfectant solution, paper towels, and COVID vehicle usage guideline hang tags on every vehicle that is serviced and or repaired at fleet maintenance. Acrylic driver barriers have already been installed on our electric Bruin bus fleet and are being installed on some of our CNG bus fleet in preparation for fall service. Our vehicle procurement team, Lee Middleton and Tom Poveroma, have procured multiple emergency first responder vehicles for our campus partners at Ronald Reagan Medical Center and UCPD, and taken delivery of the 2 new EV Star Hospital Transport all-electric vehicles, which will transport patients, doctors, and nurses, and have door-to-door service, helping them get between campus and Ronald Reagan Medical Center. In addition, the team is committed to developing a UCLA motor pool program, which will allow departments to share vehicles to reduce their operating costs. Next slide. In addition, we are working with our IT team to integrate GTFS, real-time Bruin bus tracking information published on the web and available for integration into applications such as Google Maps. Speakeasy Bruin bus automated stop announcements are operational on our electric bus fleet. Next slide. We are in the process of implementing a new telematics system throughout the UCLA fleet, which will improve and extend the overall health of university vehicles by leveraging technology to monitor fault codes, engine hours, engine diagnostics, driving behaviors, location, and usage. Currently, we are upgrading and deploying new technology to manage both our fleet and transit management system and the system that runs Bruin Car. The 2 above combined projects of an enhanced fleet management system and the telematics rollout will be keys to our development of a UCLA motor pool program. Thank you, and back to Lauren.
Thanks, Jeff. So next up, we have Chinsaw Hill with the UCLA Events Office.
Thanks, Lauren. Hello, everyone. Until further notice, events on campus are not allowed by the university administration. There are working groups on campus that are meeting to establish protocols to restructure events to meet social distancing, health, and safety standards when events are allowed to return. You might notice that around LA and LA County, there have been allowed drive-in movie theaters, and temporary pop-up theaters and drive-through events. However, UCLA remains closed to events to safeguard the staff, student, and faculty that are still working on campus. The events that are allowed are virtual events, testing events for COVID-19 and the flu, and other related essential health screenings or testings. On to better news, LA County Public Health lifted the ban on filming activities on June 12th. So UCLA is open to filming. We have been coordinating and scheduling internal film shoots for virtual events and other projects. On the external filming end, we are fielding potential commercial shoots and TV shoots and movie productions for the upcoming months. That is the update from the events office, and I'll turn this over to Veronica Martinez.
Thanks, Chinsaw. All right.
Hi everyone, hope you're doing well. Hope you and your families are healthy and well. Some reminders regarding the different types of leaves that are still available. Families First Coronavirus Response Act, FFCRA, which consists of EPSL and EFML, is available through December 31st. For those employees who have work available but are unable to work due to the 5 specific COVID-19 related reasons listed on the form, including childcare, due to closures of daycare centers, virtual summer school sessions, and lack of childcare options. Please note all leave usage must be in 2-week increments for this plan. Recently, Campus Human Resources has informed the campus that there's temporary approval for non-represented employees to use their accrued sick leave when unable to work or telework due to child care needs for children not attending school, whose place of care are closed, or whose child care providers are unavailable due to COVID-19 precautions. This is effective from July 1st through December 31st. Please speak with your supervisor if you are interested, and they are waiting confirmation from those represented areas that they agree to this as well. There is also the UC paid administrative leave that is still available for use through the end of 2020 for those employees that have not utilized all of that time. Lastly, there is the Employee Initiated Reduction in Time, ERIT, which is available to career employees to voluntarily reduce their appointment time and corresponding pay while still earning vacation and sick leave at the pre-ERIT rates. Employees can elect anywhere from 1 month to 36 months at beginning 5% to 50% time reduction. For more information, including forms, please go to the ERIT website that's listed on the slide. Lastly, there are resources for support for those employees that may need it. A Staff and Faculty Counseling Center is available. If you give them a call, they will schedule a meeting with you virtually, as well as CAPS for students. And now I send it back to Lauren.
Thanks, Veronica. So next up, we have Gina Beery with our Training and Organizational Development team.
Hey everybody, good morning. So I just have some brief updates and reminders for you. So kudos. Definitely want to call your attention to this really great digital peer-to-peer recognition system. And so please make sure that you take advantage of this. It's such a nice thing to be able to recognize one another, even as we work virtually for many of us. And the next thing I want to do is remind you about the Zoom room. So don't forget, daily from 12 to 1 p.m. and 3 to 4 p.m., Monday through Friday, the Zoom room is open and available for you to get on there and just talk with others and have a good time with folks. So the next thing that I want to share with you is that we did some working through change workshops for the department. And so while those have been completed live, there is a fresh recording of this workshop available on the in the training library on the new intranet. So you can access it on demand whenever it works for you. And it's only about 25 minutes long in terms of the recording. I also want to make sure that you know that we are opening up these workshops for intact teams. So if you think that maybe you listened to the recording or you attended the live session and you think that your team would benefit from this, we want to let you know that we're happy to schedule additional sessions for you guys. All right, and then the next thing that I have for you is Employee of the Month. So beginning this new fiscal year, we have kind of improved or revised the Employee of the Month program. So what this means is that each month, one operational employee and one administrative employee will be recognized. So we're really excited about that because the fact of the matter is that while we are all a part of the same great team, we all have very different roles in this department. And so we want to make sure that everybody is included and represented well. And then the last thing that I have for you today is a call to action. Join us at 11:30 a.m. today for the Employee of the Year celebration. So historically, these have been done in person. And so due to costs, we haven't been able to open this up to everybody in the department. But, you know, one of the things about being virtual is that we can include more. So we are opening this up to the whole department, and we really hope that you can join us again later today at 11:30 a.m. And that's it for now. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Gina. So next up, we have a big update for the organization. We actually have a new intranet site that we're rolling out. And so I have a video from Andy on our communications team walking you through the brand new intranet site.
Welcome to this walkthrough of the new E&T Intranet Site. Many of you are familiar with the old site that looked like this. Although functional, it was not very user-friendly nor visually appealing. That's why the 90s called and wanted their website back. So we gave it to them and created this. Introducing the new E&T Intranet built with Microsoft SharePoint. It's definitely a lot more contemporary and has a lot of great features which we'll go over. For employees who are working remotely, you don't need to be on the Campus VPN to access it. You just need to be logged in to your Outlook account. You'll first notice the tiles at the top of the homepage. It gives you quick access to featured pages, such as the Employee COVID-19 and Telecommuting Resources pages. There's also a link to the Kudos page, where when you click on the image, it will bring you straight to the Kudos app. There's also a link to our Employee Recognition page, where you'll see tiles for employee recognition programs. Click on any one for more information, such as Employee of the Month, where you'll see our current honorees, as well as links to our previous ones. If you look at the top, there's a navigation bar with convenient access to information resources. Under Employee Communications, there's a Crossroads newsletter. The current issue will now live on this page, along with a link to previous editions. There's also a page for the 5-minute briefs, along with a link to the archives. And now we have an E&T Photos page with photos from this year, showing the great work everyone's been doing to keep the campus moving. There's also links to the photo albums from last year's events. Also on the navigation bar, you'll see the Resources tab, with links to our most commonly used forms, the UCLA directory where you can look up anyone in E&T, and much more, as you can see. Under Training and Development, you'll see links to the Employee Recognition page, a training library with links to helpful resources, onboarding pages for both employees and supervisors, and information about our other training and development programs. The applications page is for those employees who use them. You need to be on the E&T VPN in order to access them, so make sure that you're connected before you click on the link. Going back to the home page, you'll see a news feed which is very similar to the TV screens in the office. It will scroll through news items every 5 seconds, but you can also use the arrows to scroll through at your own speed. Click on any of them for more information, and if you want to see all of them in one place, just click on See All. Just below that, you'll see an events calendar for any that are coming up. Click on them for more information, and there's also a handy link to add it to your Outlook calendar. Just click on it to save the file and open it to create an appointment in your Outlook calendar. Scroll down further to see our new hires and employees on the move. Click on any of them for more information, and you can click on See All for a complete list. And below that, you'll see links to our social media pages, including the new E&T YouTube channel that hosts recordings of our meetings, celebrations, and training videos. At the very bottom, you'll see the footer with links to the UCLA Gateway or ucla.edu, the Transportation and Events Office websites. There's also a link to the About Us page, which has the mission, vision, and values for transportation and the Events Office, as well as profiles for each of the units within E&T. That's it for this walkthrough of the new E&T Intranet site. We encourage you to explore on your own to become familiar with it, and to also bookmark it or make it your homepage. Now that it's new and improved, we hope that the Intranet will be a go-to resource for everyone at E&T. Thanks so much for watching.
Thank you, Andy, and thank you to the whole IMC team for getting that together. It was part of one of our Lean Teams projects for internal communication, so they've been working really hard over the last couple months to get the new intranet out and ready. So you will be receiving a news bulletin after this meeting with a link to the intranet, so you can bookmark that or make it your homepage and give us some feedback and let us know what you think. So with that, we are going to move on to the question and answer section. So hopefully we got some good questions sent in.
All right, thank you, Lauren. So the first question I'm seeing is, what are the efforts that are in the works to normalize work from home outside of the virtual break room and all staff meetings? So one of the things that you might have seen was that there was an announcement that came out from the CFO of UCLA last week saying that non-inventorial equipment could be checked out. So that means chairs or monitors or printers. So you'll need to make arrangements to come into the office with your supervisor in order to get that equipment. But the good news is that there's now a recognition that since we're in this for the longer haul, that there needs to be some more equipment. I know some people are doing things like, sitting on folding chairs, which, it's not terribly comfortable for the long run. So the other thing that is being done is we're working on a telecommuting resource website, which hopefully will be up and running within a month, sometime in August. So that will have tips for employees, tips for managers, resources, technology resources, all sorts of things on it. So we're really looking forward to getting that site out. It will be hosted on the Administrative Vice Chancellor's website, but our own IMC staff will be maintaining it and updating it as needed. So next question. What were the results of the AQMD survey this year? And I'm going to turn that to Dave Karweski.
Good morning, everyone. A well-timed question, the AQMD survey. Survey week was actually the first week of March, so we got it done in Murphy's Law, pardon for the dishwasher, We got it done right before the closure. So it was a normal week at that time at UCLA. We've been ardently trying to get responses since, and we're wrapping up the survey tomorrow, and we'll be submitting the plan in about a month to the AQMD.
All right, thank you, Dave. So the next question is about transit scheduling and the bids and the notice period given on the bids. So this one I'm turning over to Matt to address, please.
Thank you, Renee. And thank you for raising those concerns. Providing essential transit service during this pandemic is a team effort. As always, we'll take these concerns into account as we make changes to driver schedules and ensure that they're made consistent with our collective bargaining agreements. I'd also like to thank all of the Fleet and Transit employees and all of E&T overall for their teamwork during this extraordinary time.
All right, thank you, Matt. So the next question is, why are we using a separate kudos system when Teams already has one integrated system? And I think maybe kudos was being used to refer not to the system, but to the fact that we want to give kudos to employees of the month who are in operations as well as who are in administrative. So I'm going to go to the next question because I'm going to turn it over to Gina to answer both of them. They're both related to the Employee of the Month. The second question is, will the remaining 2 Employees of the Month recipients be recognized today? The E&T Bulletin is 2 months behind.
Hi, Renee. Thank you. Okay, so in terms of, I'll take kudos first. Yes, we do realize that Teams has its own setup there, but kudos as we know it was set up specifically by some of our developers in-house, and so that makes it a very exciting thing for us to use that's specific to us, and that's the way that we chose to move forward with it even before COVID had happened, so it had been in the works, and so we're very proud of that for a number of reasons. And then with regards to EOM, I'm sorry, Renee, can you
yeah, so I think there was confusion about the kudos system versus Employee of the Month.
Oh, okay. The 2 are completely separate. Kudos is just supposed to be a fun, real-time thing that you can log into, and when someone does something great, you can recognize them for it and just kind of keep that camaraderie going during this remote time. And then it looks like I'm getting a reiteration here of what the question is for Employee of the Month. Will the remaining 2 Employee of the Month recipients be recognized today? Oh, yes, the E&T Bulletin is 2 months behind. I understand. Yes, they will be. So we are up to date with our recognition. And so that will definitely be happening today at 11:30. So I hope you can join us. All right, thank you.
Okay, all right, wait, I see one more question. Is there any timeline for announcing possible furloughs? So this is something that may or may not happen, actually, furloughs. Furloughs meaning, you know, everybody gets reduced in time, like happened in 2008-9. It may happen, it may not happen. It's been discussed at the Office of the President level. That is different from reductions in time that are specific to specific jobs. And those that are impacting events and transportation will be happening, or the announcements will be happening on that sometime this coming month. So there won't be across the board furloughs anytime soon. That's not to say they won't happen, because there apparently is still some discussion of it. But it's unknown if it will happen or when it will happen for across the board furloughs. I don't see any more questions. So with that, I'm going to turn it back to Lauren. Thank you.
Thanks. So that's pretty much all we have for today. We will send out a news bulletin with the link to the presentation and a link to this video, as well as a link to the new intranet site. And that should go out later today.
Reminder, Lauren, we want to give a reminder for Employee of the Month at 11:30, right?
Yes. So sorry, I hear some noise. If you're not speaking, mute yourself. I'm going to mute all. All right. Yes, today at 11:30, you should have received a news bulletin in your email inbox with a link to the Employee of the Year celebration. So join us over there. It'll be in a different Zoom room. So just click the link in the news bulletin that you received. And also just a heads up, our next all-staff meeting will be the last week of August. So you're going to get a calendar invite soon. And then we're pretty much going to host these throughout the end of the calendar year. Every month at the end of the month. So we will put those invitations on your Outlook calendar so you have those ahead of time. Okay. All right. Thanks everyone for joining in.